Arts and Faith St. Louis next on City Corner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bumpers stinging air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome to City Corner. You've just seen a clip of vocalist Jeremy Dennis singing the national anthem at Arts and Faith St. Louis's 2019 Interfaith concert. It's a beautiful and moving performance, and what makes it even more special is its connection to 9/11. It's also a clip that's going to be used in the 2021 Interfaith concert, and we're going to learn all about that today. I'm joined by Laura Arnold. She is the chair, I should say, for the planning committee for Arts and Faith St. Louis, and thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I always enjoy talking about arts and faith, and this year, especially with the 10th anniversary concert, gives us a chance to reflect on what we've been doing and think ahead to how we can make our community stronger and better.
I want to take a step back. We're referring to this as the 10th anniversary 9/11 Interfaith concert. So there's a connection there to 9/11, which I want you to get to in just a second. But Here we are. I mean, can you believe it? We're at the 20th anniversary of 9/11. What's kind of going through your mind, as we sit here, just knowing that here we are 20 years later?
Well, I think we're going through another great test of our nation as we think about the COVID pandemic and we think about our political situation that's become so vitriolic. And we rose to an occasion at 9/11 and really, I think, came together as a country. So part of what I'm thinking about is, let's think how we did that, and perhaps we have an opportunity right now in that reflection to think about going forward, how we once again can become more unified. But you're right, it seems like yesterday sometimes, and then, my kids were 2 when it happened, and they're 22 now. So it is just an amazing span of time where I hope we've learned a lot, and I hope that we can take that and put it into action.
And this is really, there's the connection for this concert to 9/11. Explain that.
So it's really interesting. Arts and Faith's origin comes out of a couple of people who decided to be really brave and take on something really hard, and that had its origin in an Opera Theater of St. Louis production of something called The Death of Klinghoffer, and it was an opera that many people thought was anti-Semitic. But it was also important operatic work. And so when the Opera Theater of St. Louis festival season decided to do that, Timothy O'Leary, who was the general director, said, I've got to do something to make this a community-oriented event. And what he did was reach out to a woman who really takes on community projects in ways that are thoughtful and serious and get people gathered together, and that's Batya Abramson Goldstein, who was at the time the executive director of the Jewish Community Relations Council. They made it through public education for the opera, and guess what? Right, just a few months later was the anniversary of 9/11. And that group got together. At that point, it was Opera Theater of St. Louis and the Newmark Institute was a vital player, along with Interfaith Partnership and the Sheldon. And they said, let's demonstrate unity on this anniversary as opposed to some of the division that we had seen following 9/11. How can we as faith communities say, 10 years later, we are unified in working for peace and harmony and a better community? And that was our first concert. They thought it was going to be a one-shot deal, but here we are 10 years later, we're still at it.
Still at it. And I know that this concert's been sold out year after year. Obviously, we're in the pandemic, so this year it's going to be virtual. I have a clip that I want to show of the North City Deanery Choir. But before we get to that, I mean, explain a bit about you're bringing across, we call it, it's the Interfaith concert.
Right.
So you're bringing all across different religions and faiths together. So, I mean, at this year's concert, you've got choirs representing or ensembles representing how many different
We
faiths?
have 8 different faith communities that are represented, and I could count them off in my hand. I'm afraid to name them because I might forget someone, but we do know that it represents all the major faiths of the world, from the Sikh faith to the Catholic faith to the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints community, Buddhists, Hindu, Muslim, and as well as, we're going to see the Protestant choir as well. So we are really fortunate to have such great participation from our faith community.
Yeah, no, it's really special. We're going to take a look. You're going to see a clip right now. This is the North City Deanery Choir. You're going to take a look. Here we go.
Working for my Lord. There is goodness, truly goodness, always goodness. When the Lord, I'll be shouting. When I get there, in the arms of the Lord. There is goodness, truly goodness, always goodness. When the Lord, I'll be shouting. When I get there, in the arms of the Lord. No more weeping, no more crying, I'll be smiling. When the Lord, I'll be shouting, hallelujah, in the arms of the Lord. Moving out all over me, feeling love and His grace. Moving out all over me, I can't wait to see His face. Moving out all over me every day. When I get to heaven, hear the angels say, there is goodness, truly goodness, always goodness. When the Lord, I'll be shouting. When I get there, in the arms of the Lord.
All right, so we've just seen a clip from There Is Goodness. That's the name of the song. That's really lovely. I like this idea of, we talk about this, how the arts, how music bring us all together, a sense of peace, a sense of togetherness and building bridges. I mean, are all the participants, is everyone kind of on the same page about what they're doing and what the intent of this is?
Well, I think so. I mean, the people who participate come from the interfaith world, they come from the art world, but they share this belief that arts help us have conversations that we might not otherwise have, that we do see in the arts representations of our shared values, of our common humanity, of what it means to be empathetic and compassionate, what it means to think about difference as well as similarity. And because the arts are such a vital part of how we express ourselves in so many of our religious communities, they provide a great opportunity for us to see who we are together, as well as celebrating our differences.
I think what's so interesting about this concert, obviously in attendance when it's held every year at the Sheldon, and I know you work with HEC Media, and they shoot it. The footage that we're using is actually shot by them. It has this significance because of what it's for. Meaning, it's not that it would be individually people not finding the power in it, but because everyone is coming together in this connection of commemorating 9/11 and bringing people together, it makes it. It makes it so special. We do have a clip of Christine Brewer.
Yes.
So Christine Brewer, the Grammy Award-winning soprano, she's been involved now for a long time. Is that correct?
She's been involved with us through the entire process of Arts and Faith, from the very first concert. And we as our Arts and Faith are really fortunate to have her as a partner. But our broader community, she is such a treasure for opera theater and helps with rep things and so many other things. We are just fortunate to have her with us. And she provides kind of an anchor for our concerts, and also sets the bar of quality so high that everyone tries to then meet that bar.
No, she's an amazing, right? I mean, amazing vocalist. So we're going to have a clip of her singing, and I thought this was interesting for this year's concert. She's singing Amazing Grace, but it's not the Amazing Grace that everyone knows. This is Amazing Grace by the African-American composer H. Leslie Adams, and so that's really special.
It is, and I think people will see Amazing Grace listed, and then they'll watch her performance and have a whole new conception of what Amazing Grace can be and is.
No, I think that's nice. Well, we're going to play out with that. Before we do, I'm going to put up on the screen 2 graphics so you can find out how to watch this concert that we're talking about. It's Arts and Faith St. Louis's 10th anniversary 9/11 Interfaith concert, Creating Our Future Together. And it's going to be streaming on Arts and Faith St. Louis's YouTube page. HEC is playing it, but this is going to be on their YouTube page for you to watch. Indefinitely, really,
Yes.
in the future. And then the next slide that we have is how you can learn more about Arts and Faith St. Louis. We're going to get into that in the second segment. They do projects and programs throughout the year, but you can head to their website, artsfaithstlewis.org. And now we're going to take a look and go out to break to the amazing Christine Brewer.
Amazing grace, you fill my heart with song, a song of love that lasts the whole day long. Amazing grace, surround me with the strength of your caress, renew my trust that I'm forever blessed. Amazing truth, speak to me with your voice, uniting all within that says rejoice. Amazing truth, unfold the joy that only you can bring, the joy that comes when I begin to sing.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it here. So what are you waiting for? Just go to the site.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
If you smoked, this new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit SaveByTheScan.org.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, Get back on it or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
There's so many reasons to love St. Louis, you can't pick just one.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods and 108 beautiful city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and the gorgeous Tower Grove Park right here.
And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season. So come and experience St. Louis.
पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी जिंदगी शम्मा की सूरत हो खुदाया मेरी लब पे आती है दुआ बन के तमन्ना मेरी.
Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome back to City Corner. You've just seen another clip from a past Arts and Faith Interfaith concert. That clip is going to be in the 2021 concert, which is what we're talking about today. I'm joined by Laura Arnold, who is the chair of the planning committee for Arts and Faith St. Louis. Thanks again for being here.
Thanks, happy to do it.
Let's kind of continue our discussion. I mean, we were talking about what's interesting to me over the years is how the concerts are curated. Mm-hmm. So talk about, just, you alluded to that a bit in the first segment, but how does this all happen each year? Are people sending emails saying, hey, we want to participate? Are you going out? How does that whole curation happen?
So there's really two things to talk about in building our concert. One is we are really fortunate to have Paul Reuter, who's the former executive director of the Sheldon. In his retirement, he has really dedicated time and effort to arts and faith, and he knows the music community in St. Louis like nobody else. And so Paul is the driving force behind curating, but he relies very heavily on our planning committee. Our planning committee is about 25 people strong, come from a variety of faiths, and they, within their own faith community, inquire about who might be interested, who might meet our standards of quality, so that they can participate in the concert. And so really it's a planning committee effort, and Paul is the one who herds those cats to make sure we have the best performers possible from different faith communities.
Mm-hmm. I know if we have some photos and we can kind of put them up as we talk about it, because it really covers a wide range, and you've got soloists and you've got, choirs and ensembles, young people, getting young people involved, which is great. What would you say are, I hate to put it this way when it's something artistic, to say what are the outcomes that come out of this, but in your observations and your involvement, what have you seen really that's happened, the changes that happen as a result of this concert?
So I think the conversations that are had before and after all of our events are important, because they're people who aren't necessarily find themselves together. Dwayne Foster, who is the choral director at Normandy High School, was part of one of our storytelling events, and he talked about the Normandy High School choir participating in our production just a few months after Michael Brown was killed. And how difficult that was for them. But in the room before, in the ready room, those students were talking with the Hindu performers, and they talked about Michael Brown. And the Hindu performers asked these students how they were feeling, and they discussed lots of different things about where we were as a community and about how singing and performing can actually be kind of a solace in times that are challenging. So there are conversations like that among our performers, and we try, when we can do it in person, to have people out on Washington Avenue in different kinds of activities. For example, we did a wall of hope, where people went out and they wrote something that they were hopeful about. And you could watch people go up there, write on the wall, and then talk to the person who was writing next to them. And so there are those kinds of conversations that I think are the best things about our events and our community. In addition, through our planning committee, we have connections in the interfaith community so that we can share different kind of events that are going on within different religious communities that I think make it a stronger bond for us as a broader interfaith community.
Right, because I think even on our best day, when people want to build bridges, they just don't know how.
Right.
They don't know where those shared spaces are. And if you don't know someone from different backgrounds, it can be a challenge. And so we need the arts, we need these opportunities to do that. I thought what was interesting about the 2021 concert is you do have something different in this one. It's not just clips from past one. You have a 2021 performance, a mass performance by the Interfaith Youth Chorus. So we're going to take a look at that clip. This is from a story from a package done by HCC. We're going to take a look at that clip and then come back and talk about the youth choir. So here it is.
The song is called Begin by Matt Carlson, and the composer created this song during the pandemic, and it was created to let the students who are singing the song understand that we really need each other. And I think we really realized at that time how much we miss human interaction and being with other people.
The students in the Interfaith Youth Chorus are from 15 different high schools in the St. Louis area. For them, the chance to sing together again was priceless.
Especially when this coronavirus hit, a lot of us lost the opportunity to actually come together and sing with one another. I would honestly have to say it's a blessing, because you get to perform with people, with like-minded people that love this just as much as you do.
Being part of something like this really transcends this, because we come from so many different backgrounds, so many different ethnicities and religions, but that doesn't stop us from singing together as one.
The involvement of young people has always been a part of the mission of Arts and Faith St. Louis.
It's become an integral part of what Arts and Faith is about. This is our future, and it's going to be a good future when young people are coming together to share.
All right, so you've just seen a clip of the Interfaith Youth Chorus. That's Maria Ellis is the director of that
Correct,
chorus.
yes.
So talk about this. They got together, did a masked performance that was videoed for the concert. Tell me about the youth choir, or youth chorus, I should say.
Well, so we, like everybody else, have been trying to figure out how do you do these things under COVID protocols. And we had students from 15 different high schools come together and record at the Sheldon in that mass performance that you saw. It's smaller than our usual youth chorus, and that's safer for the students. But I will tell you, there has not been a concert that I've attended that the youth chorus hasn't brought me to tears, just because of the beauty of what they offer. And we do use that opportunity, the rehearsal opportunity, to get students together who might not otherwise be together. So typically our youth choir, the kind of core of it, comes from the Sheldon Youth Choir, as well as the choir from the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. And so we've got a bunch of kids that really are from mostly the city of St. Louis, and a bunch of kids who are mostly from suburban St. Louis who find themselves together. And we do arrange some activities for them during that rehearsal time, and it's fun to watch them get to know each other. But the beauty of their performance and the hope that youth brings to you, and Maria Ellis is just fantastic in her leadership of them, that they always are a striking part of our concert.
And it's, I feel as I get older, I really do recognize what is so special when young people come together. It does instill hope. It's just seeing it happen right there, and it's really, really unique. I want to understand what Arts and Faith does, St. Louis does, outside of this concert, because this is kind of the big thing. Everyone, I think, not everyone, but down at the Sheldon, it was sort of known around this time for the commemoration of 9/11 that the Interfaith concert happens, but you've started projects and programs that are year-round or happening throughout the year. Talk about some of that.
Thank you. I love the opportunity to do that. We have partners, and one of our biggest partners is the St. Louis Art Museum. We have 8 sets of docents at the Art Museum who have curated for us a tour of the art museum that focuses on how we see religious representation in very many different faiths in the art, in the collection of the St. Louis Art Museum. And unfortunately, those right now are on hiatus because of COVID. We're looking forward to the return of those because we did those they were very popular. We often had 30 people at a time on some of these tours. And so the Art Museum has been a great partner in that. We've done some lectures and some gallery talks with the Art Museum as well. One of our other partners is the St. Louis Storytelling Festival. For the last 2 storytelling festivals, we've done our own event with 4 storytellers. This most recent one was Stories of Hope, and before that, Stories of Compassion. And that's a relatively new opportunity for us, but one that provides another form of artistic expression. And we've been really fortunate to find great storytellers. We're very excited about a new opportunity this fall. Thanks to Ken and Nancy Kransberg and their generosity, we've commissioned a poem, a poem by Rachel Aaliyah Jackson. It's called Division, except it is the symbol for division as opposed to the word division. She's very specific about that. And it will be set to dance. It is going to be choreographed by Erika Brown, and the Consuming Kinetics Dance Company will do the dance performance. And this is scheduled for that weekend right before Thanksgiving. You can check our website for more details as it gets closer, times and ways to see the performance. But that's really exciting to us. And those are really our basic activities right now, but we're always looking for new partners and new things that we can do to advance that mission of a more harmonious St. Louis.
Yeah, no, I think that's such a good note to end on, because where we're at right now as a country, as a community, it seems as if sometimes we've run out of ways to come together, and the work that you're doing, that Arts and Faith St. Louis is doing, is important to bring us together. We have to continuously work at it, and the arts is a great space and format and forum and channel to do that. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for talking about the concert. You can check out the concert. We've got the information there for you on the screen. It's Arts and Faith St. Louis. It's the 10th anniversary 9/11 Interfaith concert. Normally, this would be held in person at the Sheldon. Tickets would be sold out. You probably wouldn't be able to see it, but this year it's going to be streaming on YouTube. It's also going to air on HEC Media, but you can check it out past this date on the YouTube page for Arts and Faith St. Louis, so head there. Or next slide, you can go to their website, artsfaithstlouis.org, learn about the different projects and programs throughout the year, as well as the concert that's taking place this month and ongoing. And Laura, thank you again for joining us.
Sarah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the conversation and your generosity and all the time you spent preparing for us.
Well, it's a beautiful concert, beautiful clip, so thank you for joining us. And thank you at home for watching. And keep it right here on STL TV, Experience St. Louis.